I'm doing pop culture, entertainment, things like that. Not too long ago, on January 1st, 2023, this article got around. Amber's friend Eve Barlow tweeted about it, and some other people commented, things like that. Now, the problem is, this is paid only. I don't have a subscription, so I only took the part they gave away. But obviously, what stands out the most is from the get go, and I'm going to assume in the whole article, they call Depp supporters Depp heads, diehard fans, things like that, which is not the best way to frame things. If you want to actually make a good point, don't disrespect your opponents like that. At least come from an even level and respect people's opinions, especially when they've got really good opinions and evidence. So let's take a look here at what was said. Well, what we have. In his toxic legal battles with Amber Heard, Johnny Depp had an army of Depphead superfans to fight his corner. Well, let's think about it. Johnny's been around for about 40 years in the film industry, something like that. Of course, he's going to have fans. Of course, people are going to be skeptical, especially when nothing has ever come up like this in his entire career, in his entire life. Nothing even close. There was some incident at his club. Some guy disappeared. News came out. The info wasn't so good. It wasn't Johnny's fault anyway. Okay. Johnny does drugs and alcohol. We knew that. And we actually flaunt that because you don't want to say, I'm perfect. I never did anything wrong. I'm perfect. I don't do anything people consider bad or whatnot. You want to be honest. You want to show who you are. So that's a good thing. So, bottom line, first time ever for a serious accusation. Some turned up every day at court. Thousands upon thousands of others championed his cause online and poured vitriol on those who dared question their hero. Well, here's the thing. Many of us, like myself, came in very neutral. I always liked Johnny as an actor, but in the same way I like DiCaprio, Schwarzenegger, the mix of good actors. But as I found out more and more, heard the audio, saw the finger incident, found out Amber was not such an honest person aside from this, I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. Aside from the fact that I knew, that everyone knew who follows Johnny, even on a surface level, he never had anything accused of him before. Now, however, Heard has their own British support network, and while they may be unable to compete in numbers, they certainly can on skill. With expertise in criminal law, psychology, and advocacy for abuse victims. They have been rallying around the actress in London and also working together to combat the abuse women face online. Here's what all these people forget. Here's what they seem to get wrong. So, look at it this way. Johnny Depp has how many fans? I don't know. Let's take a guess. His Instagram's going up to like 30 million. So let's stop there. Let's assume it's 30 million. We know it's more because life isn't Instagram, but out of 30 million people, how many psychiatrists and criminal law experts do you think there are? I'd say a lot more than we have here. I mean, hell, what's 1% of 30 million? In that 1% of 30 million, there's probably quite a few criminal lawyers, psychologists, doctors, and things like that, not to mention people advocating for abuse victims. So it's not like, well, we've got these 5 people with PhDs to equal Johnny's massive fans who don't have PhDs. I was raised by a psychiatrist. I don't have a PhD myself, but my head's not in the sand. I'm not in the dark when people talk about psychology. And I'm just one person out of like, I don't know, more than 30 million. I'm sure someone listening right now probably has some kind of a degree in law, a doctorate, something like that. So when they say they can match Johnny fans on skill, they're not taking numbers and probability into consideration, which just doesn't happen these days so often. People like to argue with emotions and big names and wow factors and gotchas and things like that. But same thing with Marilyn Manson. When you think about math for a second, it gets more fishy the more accusers there are out there, not more credible. So that's it. Then it ends on me. It says, I've got an offer to subscribe for $1 a month. No thank you. Seems like they're friendly towards Biden and the left-leaning side. I don't know, haven't read too much of them, but they've got more than one picture of Biden up there. Just saying. In the picture, they got Charlotte Proudman, Amber Heard, Jessica Taylor, Eve Barlow, Kim Manning Cooper, and Jamie Shrive. They have helped the star with the fallout from her legal cases with Johnny Depp. And notice, they all have a very similar persona there for people who probably champion diversity and virtue signaling and things like that. Again, just saying, my observation. Also, Eve likes to call people like myself, like Tug, like Andy Signor, like Colonel Kurtz, grifters. Well, where have these people been Amber's whole life and why are they jumping in on this now? Why don't they objectively look at the court case and make a decision? And if anything, they should be neutral. If you don't know, if you really don't want to pick a side between Amber and Johnny, then you should at least be like, I don't know, there's so much info out there, I'm neutral. Obviously, the landslide of info with evidence is on Johnny's side, but I'm just saying, theoretically, if you really can't make up your mind, it seems like you should at least be neutral. Let me know what you think down below. Doing shout outs, special thanks, things like that, entertainment. Got a dry sense of humor. Sometimes I'm funny, sometimes I'm not. If you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.